For 10 years, I have used on my YouTube channel a kitchen table. Actually, my first videos, I was using a Staples folding table, and I quickly discovered I needed a lot more room than that. I saw a lot of workbenches, tool benches, and stuff like that, but nothing really clicked that I thought would really be right. I wanted to have the nice look for the YouTube videos, but I also wanted to have practical space, and that's when I wound up with an Ashley kitchen table. Now, I mean, it was 72 inches long, 36 inches. I mean, perfect, okay? And over the years, I've done all kinds of 3D printer videos. I've done upgrades, but I am not a 30-something anymore. As my doctor reminds me, I'm closer to 60 than 21. And I'm noticing as I get a little older that, you know, when I'm working on these 3D printers, it'd be really nice if I had a surface or a desk that I could raise and lower and get in there a whole lot easier. And that's when FlexiSpot reached out to me and said, hey, look, we have a bunch of these raised up desks and go ahead and select one that you think you would like. We'd partner with you to do a video and be part of your studio makeover. So in this video, that's what I'm showing. All right, a little behind the scenes here for you. So yeah, this is the desk. And as you can see, the layout here, toolbox and the kitchen table. Thank you, Ashley Furniture. And this is basically how I film. I use my Streamlabs and the Streamlabs OBS. And that's what this computer is dedicated to, and also has some of the slicer. Then over here, it's literally a Staples folding table and my laptop with a external monitor as well. And I've had that for many years, and there's a lot of profiles on there. And so the goal is going to be to, this is going to be pretty easy to package up, store, get that table folded up. I got to get this computer apart, just power it off, unplug it, put it off to the side for a little bit. We'll roll this toolbox out of the way. Where it goes after, I don't know. And then slide this table down here. And the cool thing is once this table is set up, I have, there's a box over here under the helmet, which is that 4 monitor stand, and I can set up the 4 monitors over there. I have, well, I have the 2 here, got 1 here. That's a really, really old monitor, but what I'm going to eventually do is buy some new monitors and we'll put them in there. Okay, so the one that I selected was the FlexiSpot E6 Max with a bamboo top, because I wanted to have that same color as, well, the kitchen table. And it is 72 inches by 30, so it's not quite as deep as or as wide as the original table I had was, but hey, it's got the dual motor 3-stage heavy lift up to 300 pounds, so it's going to handle anything I throw at it. So that's what I selected. FlexiSpot was great. They arranged the shipping, and I feel bad for my FedEx guy because the top arrived first, 72 inch by 30, so that's a pretty big piece of hardware. And just when I thought that was heavy, the next day the base unit showed up, which has the actuators and all the hardware that goes under the surface, and that was 74 pounds. So yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to get it down the stairs, and I got everything down here, and then it was a matter of, okay, before I unpack this thing, I got to start doing some logistics and moving things around. So once I got the computer dismantled and the laptop and monitors out of the way, it was time to move that toolbox, which we still got to find a permanent home for. But I got the kitchen table cleaned up and I slid that over. And I bought this wonderful 3-monitor stand. I got the link down below if you're interested in one, because I have 3 monitors. I have an external monitor for the laptop and I have 2 for my production machine here. So I got that together, and it does a great job of, again, freeing up desk space because the monitors are now up on those stands. And because it's going on that kitchen table, it's rugged and it can handle all that. So the clamp-on base works fantastic. Also, to maximize, and also a little ergonomics here, I found a great stand for the laptop that I was able to 3D print. And just to make sure the laptop wasn't going to slide around on top or on bottom, I got some non-slip 3M, or maybe it was Scotch, I can't remember which, but really inexpensive find at the local Lowe's. I put that on there and everything fits perfect. So now with that kitchen table in its new home, really the only thing on there is the external keyboards and mice for the computers. And if I need to do some work there, I can just slide them out of the way. So phase one done. Okay, now the next part. Now that I've cleared out the space, I've got to get this great big tabletop for the new desk pulled over, opened up. And the good news is that everything was packed superbly. No damage whatsoever. And I'm sure UPS, FedEx, whoever delivered it, I can't remember, did their darndest to beat the hell out of it. But it showed up in great shape, plenty of padding as well too. And I got that unboxed, and I also made sure that I got it flipped over so that the side where the pre-drilled holes were, or the starter holes I'll call them, were up on top. I gave that a good look over, and now it's time to look over the instructions. You'll be happy to hear the instructions were pretty darn basic, pretty well laid out. I only ran into a few little gotchas, which I'll share with you here in a second, but first of all, that second box is heavy, and there's a lot of parts, but everything was superbly packed, no damage. Got all the substructure parts out and laid out. The other cool thing was they do a really great job with the way they shrink wrap all the screws and labels, so you know exactly what is going to go where. So that was nicely done. And then it was time to get everything set up and look through those instructions and start work. Okay, now it was time to put everything together. I just sat on the floor and did this, and I got a little distracted. I was watching a movie while I was doing it, so I did catch myself having to backtrack a little bit and make sure I did things properly. And as you'll see, Scooter had a good time helping too. He, as usual, whenever I'm down here, he brings a toy and keeps himself busy, and well, there he is. Oh, Scooter, you're my best helper. But anyway, so one of the things I noticed along the way once you build the substructure is as you're putting these pieces together, it can be a little challenging to square them because they don't lay flat. And as I got the substructure put together and it was time to put the actuators in there, you have the 4 holes, I discovered that, you know, sometimes you've got to kind of pull and push on those pieces to make sure those holes are lined up properly, as I show here. Okay, first part done. One thing I'll point out is when you install these, you know, definitely just try to line the screw into the hole, because once you bolt these in there, it's hard to get it square. So you might find you have to wiggle around or push and press to have the screws line up with the actual hole for threading it in there. But yeah, just start them on all 4, and then once they're happy, you know, then start doing torquing and, you know, do this one, do this one, do this one, do this one. But yeah, so we got that part done, and oh boy, it's heavy. So once I had the substructure done, it was time to start taking the like little wood screws here and basically attach the subframe to the wooden top, and that went pretty well, no problems there. The only issue I noticed is as I was putting the, you have the controller and you have the power supply and then you have the cords. I think the cord that came with mine was made for a desk that wasn't as long because fortunately I check and double check before I screw anything in. And as you'll see here, I did discover that the cord that goes from the power supply to the controller, if I had attached it where they said to, that cord would not have reached. So that was pretty easy to solve. Basically, I had on hand a bunch of the industrial plastic Velcro, and all I did was put it in the proper space so that it would reach the control box, and then I just attached the power unit to the metal frame, and it worked just fine. And here's the final result. As you can see, very clean, very nice layout. As I'm going to demo here, I am going to lay on top of this and raise and lower the desk. Okay. It's getting me up there. It's not loving it, but it's doing it. My 197 pounds. Well, I bet it's going to go down easy. Oh yeah, down is no problem. So that is really cool. All right. There we go. So now I actually have some decent space where if I want to get inside this thing and do some work, I'm not crawling over or trying to, find some other way. I can simply raise or lower this. Whee! So if I want to work on the top of the 3D printer, I can lower the desk. If I want it to be a little bit higher, if I want to work on the hot end, like on this particular machine, I have a new hot end I want to replace, I have that flexibility. So call me lazy, but this works out way better for me. So a lot of perks to having a desk you can raise and lower to get at things. And it's obviously got plenty of space, so I have room not only for the 3D printer, but for all the tools as well. All right, let's talk about pros and cons. Not only the whole move and change of the setup, but also the FlexiSpot desk. So the ability of being able to stretch out and get stuff off that kitchen table and condense the space as nicely as I have with the monitor stands, that's fantastic. On this, with this FlexiSpot desk, let's talk specifically about this. I really like it. Went together rather easy, no major issues. And for me, as I mentioned earlier, the whole ergonomics and being an old man, being able to raise and lower this thing so I can work on the printer, that's fantastic. There are all kinds of lift desks you can get out there at all kinds of different sizes, but I really like this because this is very similar to the look and feel of what I had before. The only cons I can say for this is that, the instructions as far as, where the power connects to the controller, because this desk is 72 inches, maybe the cable that came with it was going to be for a different or shorter one. I was able to get around that by having the 3M Velcro on hand. So if you purchase this exact same model, 72 by 30, wouldn't be a bad idea to have some industrial Velcro. You can get that at Lowe's, Home Depot, or name your store, just in case. That was the only snafu I ran into. Other than that, this thing went together solid. It arrived intact. It was packed superbly, so I have nothing bad to say. Okay, let's wrap up this video. I just want to say that this was not just a video about a 3D printer desk. This was a video about totally redoing a 3D printer studio and what I went through to make this work for me. I have a very small space, and this was a really great project to maximize the space that I do have. I would be really curious to hear from you guys what kind of setup you have with your 3D printer room. Let me know in the comment section down below. And I just want to say that, if you're thinking about getting a raised desk like this, I think this is going to be excellent for anyone that's trying to maximize not only, a good workspace or a good work setup, but, maybe if you're like me and, you want to do more standing, because sitting all the time, we already do that all day at work. So I like the ability to stand up. This is my fun preferred way to do a video. So, hey, this might be something that works out for you too. Got to take care of our back, guys. Okay, if you've enjoyed the video, help me with the algorithm, give me a like. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help me one further, check out my Ko-fi page. That's a way that you can help sponsor creators like myself. Go ahead and check those links out. If you want to send me a few bucks for coffee, or if you want to make a regular monthly donation, check it out. I appreciate it. If you want to see what I'm working on for my next video, check out my social media. I'm always posting stuff over there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course, here on YouTube. I thank you guys for watching. As I wrap all my videos, I always say the same thing. Please print safe, but don't go away. You're going to love this next video.